see me. It's so easy to believe in you. I believed in you. Your intention, my addiction. Fear no evil, you'll be safe in here. I was saved in here. Want tomorrow, no tomorrow. Come together for the here and now, and we need it now. Walk the narrow, straight and narrow. Look behind me. There's a light out there. In the light I stare. Apples shine on. Rainbows shine on. Apples shine on. When your eyes close over, pain undivine. Lay off the darkest hours, and your rainbows shine on. Rainbows shine on. Yeah. Rainbows shine on. Rainbows shine on.
IcyRayne,
Hello and
the
welcome.
raw powers, and the coldest of rains, as Sophist would say.
Yes, yes. Hello and welcome everybody to Off the Hours. off the hours, after hours, off the air.
After
Home,
hours, after hours.
yes, home of the podcast where streamers come together and talk about different streaming and gaming topics. As always, if you guys have a question, feel free to ask. If it's on topic, we will, if time permits, we'll get to it. If it's something completely different that you would like to see topic covered in the show, feel free to tweet any member of the panel and let us know, and we get your question in future episodes. Bill is sneaking in.
The rapture. He was here just a second ago, I promise.
The rapture.
Bill, my dude, how you been?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I cannot complain. Slight delay at the start of the show, guys. I apologize. Had some small technical difficulties. It wouldn't be a show if we didn't have them. But we're good. So, Bill, you know what to do, man. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you've been up to.
Well, guys, it's good to see you all here. I'm glad you guys are back supporting the After Hours Off the Air vodcast, the best on Twitch. But for me lately, haven't been streaming so much. Kind of getting some work stuff done, moving some things along. But been missing a lot of you guys because I hadn't been streaming so much. But I should be back on the horse here soon. So what is going on? Curtain. Scary. Anyway, but should be back on it here soon. Maybe play a new game or two here coming up. So guys, just make sure you got your notifications, set or you're on your phone and stuff like that. I'll be streaming here soon, guys. And again, sorry, I've missed you all. I'll be back soon. Hopefully, I'll be streaming once or twice within the next week.
Awesome. And just like last episode where we talked about real life happens versus streaming, it's kind of what's going on with my dude Bill here right now. So he wants to stream. He'll see you guys soon.
Yes.
Dorian,
Oh, yeah.
my dude. How have you been? What you been up to? What you been streaming?
Well, as always, thank you so much, Solphus, Bill, and, let's just do a shout out for Craig. You got to love that Craigatron.
The Craigatron.
Gotta love that Craigatron.
Yes.
He's
So
trying
we
to
get
be
some
here.
Craig hype. That would be excellent. But I am doing quite good. As you guys can see, likely, hopefully, I'm sitting on something new. I have a new throne. It was
Yes.
crowdfunded.
Yes.
Everyone that, everything that went around behind it, I'm so grateful. Thank you. I love it. So that's a new upgrade since the last vodcast. So a new chair. Really digging it. Feels comfortable. I'm very happy and very fortunate of the community on Twitch and everyone that's here. So thank you guys. But I'm doing great. I've been streaming, a few things here and there. Of course, we know that GTA. We throw that little weird game in there to the mix. We had some Dark Souls too, action going on. However, guys, I lost my 45 hours of game save data. It's gone. Poof. I thought Steam cloud servers would be okay with that, but it wasn't there, so that game might have to be on hiatus for a little while. Just don't feel like grinding that again. Maybe down the road, maybe some Bloodborne.
48 hours stream, Dorian. 48 hours.
Anyways, maybe look at Bloodborne at some point. But, of course, that Mario Kart. Love that Mario Kart. Red Shells. My goodness. Bullet Bills. Bullet Bills are the worst right now. They're really just knocking my socks off in that game. And, of course, recently came out The Witcher 3. I've been playing that on PC. It is gorgeous. I'm enjoying it. I've actually played the first 2 games, but that was, a couple years, 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm a little cloudy on the story, but I'm starting to remember a few things. I read a few things on the net, but I'm feeling familiarized with the lore, The Witcher. I'm really digging it. So that's been a lot of fun. Just the streams have been great. They have been fantastic, and the supporting cast from everyone has been, I can't say enough. It never goes unnoticed. Very fortunate. But again, thank you guys, Bill, Sulfus, Greg, for having me here. And of course, the duo, the dynamic duo with Raw Power as Raw Gaming and IcyRayne, the coldest of rains, as Sulfus would say. So great to have you. This is going to be a great show. Everyone, the turnout, everyone, welcome on in and sit back, and as we'll discuss a variety of topics.
Grab your popcorn.
Very cool, very cool. So, I have been streaming. What have I been streaming? I have been streaming Final Fantasy X. I got the remastered on PS4, and been streaming some Destiny. I've also picked up. I haven't been streaming it, but for some reason, I got the urge to play Skyrim again. So I started playing this off stream. But you know, with a game like this, we've talked about this game several times on the show, with the mods and all this type of stuff. You know, it's a new game every time you play it. So this is always fun. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing, is streaming Destiny and Final Fantasy X. Having some good times on this. Craig, I'll go ahead and say, Craig, the first episode we were doing without the Craigatron. Craigatron is getting some...
He's in the chat as we speak.
Craigatron is getting some carpets replaced in his home, so he's unable to be here. But he is here in spirit and in chat. So hopefully everything will be all right for him.
Hopefully it matches the drapes.
Yes, we have all the things matching for that Craigatron stream. Yes, so as you may have noticed, and as Dorian pointed out, we have two special guests tonight. Raw Power, that is Raw Gaming, and IcyRayne, the coldest of all rains, as I like to say. So Raw, if you would kind of do, if somebody doesn't know anything about you in the chat for some odd reason, if you don't, you should.
They don't?
If they don't, they should. But if you would tell them a little bit about yourself, what do you stream? When's your streaming schedule? Also, like you know, what got you into streaming in the first place? Things like this.
Oh, well. Yes, hello everybody. It's my first time here. I've never done a vodcast before, but you guys are awesome, and I just had to do it. I usually stream 10 p.m. Pacific time. No, 10 p.m. Pacific time to around 5 a.m. Pacific time, so I'm a night owl. I stream everything from Evil Within to Game of Thrones and The Witcher, like every type of new game that comes out except sports games, because I do not like sports games.
Any of them?
None of them. I don't like sports games. Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's Blitzball, right?
Blitzball. Well,
Yes.
That's Final Fantasy.
Yes,
It's
Blitzball.
part of Final Fantasy X, so it's okay.
I thought Raw lost at that.
Hey. I did lose, okay? I did, okay? Oh, there goes my camera.
Oh, no!
Camera, no!
Man down!
Camera down! Yeah,
Oh,
I've
and the
been-
dog knows it too.
Let's see if that's fixed. Downwards you go.
First world problems, guys. First world problems.
Yes.
Is that better? Let's see.
Oh, if you're giving mugshots, yeah.
It needs to be over a little bit
Side
more.
profile.
Oh.
Your damn sports item. Video games. Ah, Craig.
But
The only one.
yeah, I started streaming
Only on which.
2.5 years ago now.
What's
About
that?
2.5.
Oh,
About 2.5 years.
So, what made you like just want to stream?
Well, I saw people like Dan's Gaming. I need to fix my camera still. I saw people like Dan's Gaming, and I thought he was a cool streamer, and it looked like fun getting to know people that enjoy video games, like you do, and I just moved to my apartment. I used to live in my brother's house, and I moved to my apartment over here, and I thought, hey, you know what? Just try to do something different, you know? And yeah, bought myself a capture card. I started streaming games like Ni no Kuni and Journey, Call of Duty, and I made a lot of friends. But like you guys, look at that.
Very cool, very cool. So, do you remember the first game you ever streamed?
Ni no Kuni.
It was
Ni no Kuni.
it was the first one?
game. Yeah. That was the first game.
That was on PlayStation 3,
PlayStation
right?
3. Yep.
I don't think I've heard of this.
It's an RPG. It's kind of like basically you're a little boy and his mother dies and he gets teleported to a different world and he thinks he can revive his mother. But yeah,
Nah, I
let's
gotcha.
play the game.
I
I'm not
gotcha.
going to give spoilers. No
I gotcha.
spoilers.
Well, very cool. Thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Yeah, nice being here.
And hopefully, as always, anybody that's ever invited to the show, you're always invited back anytime you want to come. As long as we can hold 6 people is the max. Past that is standing room only. So, but welcome to come back anytime. Icy's laughing at chat right now.
Mm.
IcyRayne,
What is it?
how are you doing?
I'm
Thank-
doing good.
Thanks for coming on in. Kind of the same thing with that Raw talked about. You know, tell them where to find you. What got you into streaming?
Let's see here. What got me into streaming? Well, a lot of my friends live far away, and so they wanted to see the games that I was playing, and I was like, well, I might as well do this. I never thought like people would actually watch me, except for them because I was weird and stuff. But you know, reasons. And I streamed like a little bit of everything. Like I was playing I Am Bread, and oh my gosh, that game is so fun. Like super frustrating, and I don't know what else you want.
You don't know what else I want. What time do you stream? What sort
Oh
of games
yeah,
do you
Tuesday,
stream?
Wednesday, Thursday nights because those are my days off because I work a full-time job. And my first game I ever streamed was Stick to the Man, but I only streamed it for 5 minutes because it was a really sucky game and I hated it. And then I played Black
It
Black.
was bad. It was bad.
I actually remember that game on, like, I think, like PlayStation Plus, right? I just downloaded it just so I could download it, and then I just kind of, that was it. That's all I
You
did.
never played it?
No, it's just idle. It's there on the hard drive, that's all.
Wow, that's a thing. So we have some good topics to talk about tonight, guys and gals. We're going to talk about internet protections and what can happen if you do not keep yourself safe on the internet, and how to go about keeping yourself safe on the internet. We are going to talk about video downgrades in games. So essentially, if a game gets developed on the PC and then it's released to consoles, the console version seems to suffer from time to time. Topic 3 will be virtual reality versus computer and console gaming. The pros and cons, you know, is VR the next big thing, or is it just going to be sort of, you know, like a side thing that's there with all the Oculus Rift, Project Morpheus, and rumored Xbox One to be working on their own as well. So we'll get into this. And topic 4 will be E3 is right around the corner. So we're going to talk about what we hope comes out of E3. Not necessarily anything confirmed or anything like this, just something that we all on this panel hope to see come out of E3. So again, thanks to all the panel members being here. Crackertron, you were missed. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Thanks to all you guys at home watching. And we shall dive into these topics. I'm just Dorian. Just take it. Just internet protection.
Yep.
Just
Wow.
Yay!
Well, I know this is may not be the most interesting of topics for tonight, but it's a topic that I thought would be great to inform.
It's important, though.
Yes, and to inform the streamers, broadcasters, right? Inform everyone, and also the viewers and people that might be interested in streaming. So, many of you guys know I've been streaming for a little over a year, and I haven't had too many issues until I started streaming, a larger, big multiplayer games like Grand Theft Auto. Starting back on the PlayStation 3, and then it took to a new height when I streamed it off PS4 during my partnership push, where it was reaching hundreds and hundreds of viewers at points, which was great, and streaming off of live from PlayStation. But things that we should know, like to protect yourself on the net, because as much as I would hope the internet, I'm a big advocate for privacy and all that good stuff, but at the same token, you want to take proper procedures to make sure that your identity, or in this case, I really want to get into the discussion, is about preventing denial of service attacks. Now, many people on Twitch are going to be very familiar with DOS or DDoS attacks, and I just want to discuss on what the two are. They're actually different. A lot of folks just say DDoS. Well, it's not actually that. It's really more someone's just doing a DOS attack. So I'll put this all in layman terms. So what a DDoS attack, which is a distributed denial of service, which is basically multiple of computers, not just like one computer or two computers. We're talking about multiple, tens or 20s, 30s, or even more than that, where they decide to flood a certain IP address with crap information. So basically congesting it to the point it can't send or receive data. It just clogs it. And I've noticed that I've been a victim of just DOS attacks, which would say maybe one or two computers, or it's just someone that rents a server or all that stuff. Which is unfortunate. I remember when I was streaming around Christmas time, I know my moderators will remember this. When I was streaming, the GTA, I fell victim of being attacked, where my internet IP address wasn't safe, and they found it, and I could not stream. I was really disappointed, and ever since then, ever since a little after Christmas, I've been reading books, I've been reading articles on the net, watching some information videos, and I've discovered it's actually quite simple to actually protect yourself, and you're just keeping on top of it. So as I said, back in a little before and around Christmas time of last year, I got my IP compromised, my IP address compromised, where person found out what it is, so they just sent raw data, and it boots your stream offline. And many of the people that come by and watch the streams that are loyal, they enjoy the stream, they're like, "Oh, what just happened during stream?" and all that stuff. And at that point, I was just like, okay, there's something I gotta do. So as many of you guys probably know, there are a variety of different communication programs for your computer, your tablet, your phone, all that stuff. But being the primary, let's just say Skype, right? Being the primary of what you're using, because it is a word that people will recognize, like as much as like, hey, you YouTube that, hey, do you have Skype? It's already thought, like, in the process of most people know what it is. So people got to be careful with their Skype. Now, for me, I have something completely random, and before it was actually very similar to what my old username was and all that stuff. So what you want to do is have something completely far-fetched from it, or if you are being compromised, which I did, I decided to get a virtual private network, which is a VPN, which can disguise your IP address. So whoever decided to DOS me, they found that information, which my current IP was at that time. But now, if they're looking up that information, they're going to probably be DOSing some poor soul in Japan, you know? So you change your IP through that way. Or, which is the easiest way, which hopefully most of you guys will have, is you have your modem and then your router, right? On my modem, I have a feature called MAC address cloning, which, think of it this way. So your internet provider gives you an IP based on a hardware ID that you're using. So you have for my setup, I have a modem and then a router, which is an Asus router. I can actually, with going to the software, I can actually go into it and change the IP address or the MAC address. So the IP, my internet provider will actually issue out a new IP. That's how mine works. There's dynamic IPs and static IPs. Where dynamic, they change and everything. I remember when this happened to me, I had no knowledge of this. But after discovering that I can do this, actually every time before I go live, I actually take the time of only less than a couple minutes just to change my MAC address, which is great because it keeps your stream fresh. It doesn't allow any of your IP leaks and everything. I find that really good. So basically, changing your MAC address on your router provides you a chance to just change your IP, which is fantastic because there's these silly programs out there which is easily found off Google or Yahoo, where they're called Skype IP resolvers. What they simply do is they try to dial out to that certain Skype name, and because how Skype works, it's also really insecure. All it takes is for that person to, somehow make a fake call, and then they get your IP address. It's pretty scary. I know a lot of the other streamers who I've had private discussions with, and also my subscribers, they're like, holy crap, how can this stuff be available on the net? Why isn't this, regulated and whatnot? And now that could be a whole different angle and discussion for that, but it really is unfortunately easy. So by able to change your IP address, that's really the first line of defense. And then second, you can run like a VPN. They're relatively cheap, but also you get pretty good performance. Your ping levels are going to be fine still. And, just being wary of exactly what you put out. So, like, when people, I get this once in a while. People, come into my stream and like, hey, do you have Skype? Hey, we should chat it up sometime. That's pretty much an easy red flag right there. Like, you're like someone new. He just comes in and asks, like, no, you're not going to do that. So be very wary, all that. Definitely check out your IP. You can quickly just go on a Google search and type in my IP, and you can change your IP, as I mentioned, if you can change your MAC address, which is awesome. So that's something I'll just let everyone know. It's really quick and easy to prevent that. And also be very careful. This is really targeted for the broadcasters. Be very careful of what links that people give you. I have fallen victim, and I felt bad at this. I fell victim of people just posting a link in the chat, which looked legitimate. Like, I remember, Jake would remember this, one of my mods. I was streaming Super Mario 3D World just a little after I got my Wii U. And the person said, oh, Dorian, who's your IP? And that I was kind of gullible, and I said, it's, this company. And so what they decided to do is go on their website, go to their customer service information, and then the person photoshopped it saying that currently your IP is kind of weird. Dorian, go check this link. So I clicked on it, and it took about 10 seconds to load, and it was just a white screen. And then it finally took it to the website, and the website obviously said there was nothing wrong. But within those 10 seconds, when my screen was completely white, that person is using what's called a let's try to put it in layman terms, it's called a honeypot IP grabber. Basically, it grabs that IP address of yours within 10 seconds, and then it goes to the actual link. So what I do when I see something sketchy, I actually copy the link and go to another website, and it shows me what someone redirects information. Because most of the time when someone posts something a bit fishy, but you still click on it and it takes like 10 seconds for it to load, that's when they get your IP, and then you're just going to be matter of minutes. Someone's just going to do that to you. So I know it might not be so interesting, but it's good information out there. So what I've decided to do, I think most of us have, is like link protection on. And, you know, if someone asks permission, I even still, like, one of my mods might give permission for the person to post the link. But when I look at something weird, like you see these ImageGur links, Gazo, which is, you know, that quick instant upload service, I have that completely banned, because that is like that's one of the easiest, most fooling way. So I don't even worry about Gazo anymore. I have that completely banned. And other like sharing quick photo sites, Push, I think there's one called Push out there. If people really want to get in contact, they can, you know, send the photo like as a tweet, not like a private message, because when people try to do a private message, they're going to just send you the link. So anyway, kind of enough of my little there. But at the end of the day, we all want to just have a fun, great stream. We don't want to have like a issue that's outside of your own home. Like, so you have your internet, you have your computer, you have your webcam, you have all that stuff set up ready for a stream, and then some jerk decides to, you know, obviously you're doing something right for them to scale to and stoop to that low of a level to do that. But taking those type of steps is really important, and I wouldn't want any of us to fall victim of that. I know I don't want to be pointing the finger anywhere, but I know I've fallen victim. I remember Raw, you had a similar incident where basically, what did that guy say? And what did he exactly say? What were his exact
He was saying that don't come back until I give you permission.
Yeah, so something
streaming.
Stupid
Wow.
like that. Like, you need my permission to
was
stream. Like,
streaming,
really? You know?
Resident Evil Remastered came out back in, what was it, end of January? And I think I was the top person on PS Live. I had about 200 people in there, and everyone was acting cool and whatnot. Then a guy came in. All he had was a bunch of like L's and ones for his name. It was a bunch of junk. And
Right.
he was like, "Oh, what's this? Why is everyone in here?" And it's whatever. And then he said, I forgot what exactly he said. He said that you're not streaming. You can't stream. You can't stream unless I can tell you to stream. And then a little while later, he took me off. He took me off.
No,
Apollo sent me a screen cap, and he was saying, "Hey, who wants him to come back online?" And people like Apollo was saying to bring me back or whatever, and I came on, got back online for about, I don't know, a minute, and then he says, I forgot what he said. He took me offline again, basically. He DDoSed me a second time. He un-DDoSed me, and then he DDoSed me. I was like, oh, I had to call my cable company. I asked them about it. And they said that they can't do anything. They can't change my IP because my IP changes automatically every week. So I would just have to wait a week until I get a new IP address. So
Yeah, no, I remember what my actually IP address, or my internet provider, they said if you unplug your modem for 8 hours, it would change. But after I discovered that you can actually change your MAC address, that opens another thing. But also, if you're not too sure, I think I saw someone mention about like Counter-Strike stuff. What I do if I'm playing on PC, typically like a multiplayer, that's where I run like a VPN, where it says, because I am situated in Canada, but I would be streaming, let's say, somewhere in Japan, or I would be somewhere in the United States. So using a VPN, it's not an end-all be-all, but it's a good way to prevent that. So using a VPN is a good safeguard. Changing your IP address every couple of days and stuff, if you can, if you have that ability to do so. Fortunately, I do. And another thing that's really cool, I just wanted to say about my setup, is that my internet provider actually provides 2 IP addresses. One would be for the stream, so my PC, because I have a capture card. So if I'm playing like Nintendo Mario Kart, I have my Mario Kart actually going into my router, and right, that goes to my modem, and then my actual modem actually has 4 other Ethernet ports where I can plug my actual stream computer into there. So you have one dedicated IP for your computer, and then you have the other dedicated IP that's going to the router, which is going to be for all the other devices that are connected on your home network. I'm actually able to change my MAC address easily off my computer too from your network card. Maybe not all of them will support it, but mine does. But yeah, no, again, it's at the end of the day, we just want to have a fun, safe, enjoyable stream. And when people really, go out of their way, it's obviously we're doing something right. That they're feeling that the steep that low to a level of denying the entertainment that's being brought to the masses on Twitch. But I'm excited. Hopefully this was a little information. But in closing, don't give out your Skype, because that's just bad. Okay, so one, don't give out your Skype if you have Skype.
As you don't
Also, I know in multiplayer games like GTA, it's kind of tough because you are in like these large open lobbies. So by changing your IP address when you can, if you can, with the MAC address, what I mentioned, that's a good way. And just being very careful on these links, because that's, I would say, besides the Skype thing, I have fallen gullible to a link that looks legitimate in the chat, and I'll click on it, and that would take those 10 seconds of grabbing your IP address, and you're just in for doo-doo to happen. So those are 3 things I make sure I in every stream I go into. And as a moderator, I know I'm not the greatest, I'm not really a mod anymore, but when I'm in your chat, Raw or Icy's or Sulfus, Bill, the countless streamers that we support, when someone asks for permission to a link, I always run that link through that redirect website that I saw B-Boy mention. It actually gives some detailed information of the link. So yeah, just be very careful. I don't want it to sound like it's scary or whatnot, and after all, we want to just have fun, and we should not be intimidated by these people that do that. Also, another thing I'll mention, I know this is still related, but I'll bring it up anyway. There's been lots of discussion about like swatting and everything. Now, I've looked up, I've taken my time and done like an internet database search for my stuff, and I haven't found too much on myself. I actually keep kind of to myself on the whole internet webs and stuff. But if you're ever worried about like such a thing like a SWAT stuff, definitely just go to your local police department, let them know what you're doing, and let them know what swatting is. So if you're ever worried, right? And that will just ensure that, hey, I stream on Twitch, and there's been these attacks on people's homes. I want you guys to know what I do, and I don't want this to happen. Maybe we can put something in place that you give me a call before such event. So that's another thing to take into consideration. And as I mentioned, we're all here to have fun. We enjoy our games. We don't need this type of garbage to take place in any one of our streams. And informing, it's the more right? The more knowledge is power. And I'm fortunate enough that I took the time of looking this up, and hopefully maybe you guys learned a thing or two. And just after all, we're here for fun, right? So hopefully, on that note, just enjoy the streams and be a part of this amazing Twitch family we've established.
For sure. Well said. Icy, have you ever had anything like this happen to you?
I haven't had to be DDoS, but I have like stalkers and stuff. So there's that.
Well, it's still we're talking about internet protections.
Yeah,
so,
internet
I mean,
protections. So most of my like social media accounts have like fake last names, so like they're really like generic, like Mexican ones, and that
Nice.
works for me.
Yeah, holding the whole redirect stuff like this is always a good idea. I've never had anything happen to me like this, but you hear the news of things happening. So, and I'm always not. I mean, I'm not the smartest dude in the world, but I am pretty tech savvy. There are a lot of things that I don't know, but I know enough. So hopefully something like this will never happen to me. But like Dorian said, we just all want to stream and have a good time. And then when somebody tries to intrude on this, it's not. It just kind of sucks for everybody.
Another
for the
thing
people,
oh, go ahead, Solfus.
Yeah, I was just saying it just sucks for the people for the streamer, and it sucks for the people watching the streamer. It's kind of it's almost relative to. I'm gonna make a bad analogy of like some kind of bat. No, it's like a party. A bunch of teenagers having a party somewhere, and the cops show up, and they all run away. They don't know what to do. They all scatter in different directions. So you have a community that's in one certain area, being on somebody's stream, and then it goes down, and it's like, what now? So it's just kind of a bad all around. Ra, you got anything to add about this? Or Dorian, you got a point, didn't you?
Oh, I guess kind of two now. One was what you're saying, like at a party. Like I remember when I was younger, I would go to places, and if anyone knows, I actually don't drink. I just choose not to. But I remember incidences where some of my buddies would actually forget where they placed their drink, and then like, oh, that's my drink, and they would drink it, and they would actually fall victim of some sort of something toxic in it, or not really poison, but something toxic that makes them feel bad. Maybe it's drugged, something like that. So the way it sounds really off topic, but that's kind of the same thing with links, right? And anytime when someone decides to post something random, fortunately I have Nightbot and MooBot on duty for that. If they're not, I just stay away. I run that redirect link information there. So I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I had one last thing I was gonna say there, and what Solfus was just adding on. I lost that train of thought, but maybe it'll come back to me. Maybe Bill, or Ra or Bill have a little thing there to say.
Oh yeah. You can't just let them win. Basically, you just have to continue streaming. They DDoS you. Come back as soon as you can. As soon as you get back online, try to stream. Use protection, like Dorian says, VPN. There's nothing else you can do. They're just jealous of the people you have. They're watching you. It usually doesn't happen for like little tiny streams, like miniature ones. It happens for the big ones because they want attention from everybody, and you just can't let them win.
Yeah. It's almost like another level. It's like another level of trolling almost. It seems like, I had somebody come in my stream actually last night and say something very random. I'm trying to decide if I want to repeat it or not. It wasn't too bad. So, somebody came into my chat last night and was like, sometimes I have wet dreams about bananas, and it was
Don't we all?
it was
Not me, not me.
it was so random.
Well-
it was so random, and it was actually kind of funny. Believe it or not, the way it just kind of just popped up in my chat, and my people in my chat actually thought it was funny. But I saw that and I just rolled with it, and I was like, "So is it just bananas? You don't like oranges or nothing like this?" And
Too much girth on an orange.
Yeah, I know. Their name was like blueberry, something like this, and I was like, "You're running a double life. You like bananas, but your name is blueberry. You need to."
Was it blueberry jam?
Farouk Assault.
No, it was.
No, it's Violet.
No.
Violet. It was Violet. Farouk Assault.
But yeah,
Violet.
but you know the hacking, the DDoSing, all this stuff. It's like just like you said, Rod. Just don't let it bother you. Just keep going back. You know, the trolls, if they don't get the reaction they want, they just kind of leave and go away on their own.
Yes,
So
yeah, firsthand.
it's
Yep.
like it's a higher form of trolling. Honestly, is the way I
Here,
view it.
I'll actually feel free to keep going. I'm just going to put a link to a good site where I learned some information. It's pretty simple, easy to read. Actually, I got one more there for you guys in the chat if you want to look. Actually, the second one here is a lot easier to understand. The first one goes into a little more detail, which I've taken and followed. So definitely, maybe bookmark those if you want. Have a look. If you have some free reading time, probably have that lesson done in 5-minute read. Easy, understand, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you really do have to troll the trolls. You cannot just sit there and get mad or just throw a fit over it. You really do have to troll them. You have to you got to be quick. I mean, and us, being broadcasters and stuff like that, we've learned that we know how to be quick witted, and say something real fast. It's just like. I could be mean because if someone's being really derogatory towards me in my stream or something like that and says something really, offensive.
You have a bad beard, Bill.
Rough.
But then I go, that's not what your mom said last night.
Whoa.
See? And then you know what? They shut the hell up.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
See? That was a perfect example. But you know what? I'm like, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't call anybody out. But I'm saying that's not what your mom said last night.
Why Raw's mom had to
Here, I'll just. This
She
was a little evil
was stroking my beard.
We had a little Evil Dorian moment. I can't remember which game I was playing, but someone called me a certain thing. I didn't even know what it is. Like a lot of the Twitch vocabulary or internet vocabulary, I'm not very familiar of. So I'm like, oh, what is this? Okay, what's going on? And then he's like, you're just one of those. I'm like, can you explain? Can you tell me exactly what it is? So the person, I'm getting that person decided to write a paragraph on what exactly and try to define it. I'm like, oh, thanks. And then I just time them out or ban them.
Yeah.
Like that, just to make them to make, their point of exactly. I'm like, okay. Yeah, see you later.
And here's what happened. This is what happened to me last week when I streamed last. Was someone was making fake accounts, but everything had to do with something like my personal information, like old addresses, my complete full name, and when they followed, I was like, oh, hey, welcome, so-and-so. Feel free to type in the chat. We're all friends here. I don't bite, but a lot of these freaks do. Be careful. As I'm saying that, I'm clicking, all right, permaban. Yep. And then I'm like, and it happened a couple times. And, as I, welcome everybody to the stream, I keep, clicking the permanent ban button. And I'm like, who the hell keeps timing people out?
Nice.
And everybody in the chat's like, I don't know. Who's doing it? Right, I'm like, it's me the whole time, but I'm like, is the thing you can't let people
Blame the bots,
see-
man. Blame the
Yeah,
bots.
yeah. Oh, that's a great one. Yes, always blame on the bot. But you can't let people see you get offended or anything like that. Like a perfect example was I was watching a big time streamer who she's famous for showing cleavage and having them out there, and she decided to play. I want to say CS:GO one night, and she normally plays like League of Legends or something like that. And she played the victim card so bad, and she was just literally just about in tears because people were talking so bad to her, saying, "Oh, I bet you like to, blank, blank, blank,
Do things."
Yes, do things." And I'm like, but yes, but the thing is, I don't think she was really offended. I think she was playing the victim card to get attention because she's been streaming for so long now and sees it every day in her chat and every time she plays something. So as soon as she switches to a new game and there's people talking to her through the game, she's all of a sudden upset. And I don't know. For me, I don't know. I may be going off subject here, but playing the victim card a little too much there. And I'm sure some of you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't know. It was very different for me, and I can see how to handle things, but that's not the way to handle it if you're streaming.
Mm-hmm.
You can't start to get almost in tears in front of 4,000 people.
Yeah, no.
You got to have a little bit of tough. You got to have a little more tougher skin than that.
Yeah, no, anytime, like, okay, it's, okay, let me just take a moment here.
Hiccup counter.
Anytime one of my, like, mods or Nightbot or someone would time someone, I was like, message deleted. Don't start that, guys, because I know you guys did that to MLA. Message deleted.
that was-
Message deleted.
I get what's going on. Yeah, I click on it all the
Oh,
time.
You know, I'm
Emily.
curious. Like,
I had
why
to
did
do
this
it
too.
person
I had
to do
like
it too,
as a
Dorian.
streamer? I'm sure there's probably validity why someone gets timed out. I'm like, message deleted. I'm like, oh, what did this person have to say? And then it's like, can I has mod? I'm like, of course you're gonna get timed out. That's just dumb. Oh, you're backseating in the game. Gone. Or it's just something like, it's always something sexual. I'm just saying that, okay? It seems to be something like human bodily functions. I'm like,
Oh god.
I already know that, okay? I know how the
You know the birds and the bees, Dorian?
I know how the digestion system works. I know how, basic, stuff is. Or they just say something like in your way of stuff. I'm like, yeah, you can, take a break. You can go in a corner and think about exactly what you said, which is not appropriate. Or, you know what? If they go really into the sexual stuff, I say, you know what? Take this moment, go on another website, or grab what you have and just do what you gotta do. You come back and you'll feel like, all right, I'm ready to come back and do the
Relieve
stream.
yourself.
Yes.
You know,
Who would they
they just do that. Like, if you are on the rise of stuff, go and do what you gotta do. That's all I'm just saying.
Look, hey,
And
that's my
just-
new
that's
thing, Dorian. Grab what you have. Just grab what you have and freaking move on. Yeah, just. Yep.
Oh my god.
Grab
Yeah.
a chunk of that junk. Just.
Think of it.
Oh,
I'm loving this podcast already. This is my favorite so far. Keep it up, guys.
Yeah, no, like, and yeah, I know this is definitely going off tangent of what I was mentioning
do it.
earlier, but yeah, it also does fall like what Ross said. You don't want to be like falling victim to this. You can't allow people to win. Like in this case, we're talking about internet protection, all that, but just in general, like when people come in and like I see it all the time. Like, you suck. I'm like, great. I'm gonna clap for you. I'm gonna play the violin for you. All right, so we'll just move on and just enjoy the game, and that's it. And then that they just get bored. Like I take satisfaction of if someone gets, if someone's like a troll gets like bored of that, they can't actually start saying stuff, or they just get timed out. There's really, I don't see any. I just worry about my my subscribers, my mods, is just being there having fun. Anytime I see something like that, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna take quick action and just move on, because there's no need for that to be there. But sometimes where I'm just playing a game and someone's trying to say something, weird, like, you're talking about banana type of thing. I might just chime in and just say, a funny response to it, and they probably don't understand. And yeah, that's usually, or it gets really quiet and no one really knows what I'm saying. And but anyways, it's at the end of the day, I don't ever go fall victim. When I first started streaming, I kind of did. I kind of would go on rants and like, really, blah blah blah. Could you explain more, or just silly stuff? But now I don't worry about it. Like, I know what's going to happen in some sort of stream. But it depends on. Also, last thing I'll say is it kind of depends on what game you're playing too. Like, all I would say is like GTA. And I'm sure Icy knows when you're streaming off that live from PlayStation, there's a lot of strange folk on there. I remember those days.
Chat roulette.
But when you're
I'm
playing
that later. Oh my gosh.
when you're playing like Mario, Nintendo, or even like RPGs, or just it's pretty much chill. But out of all the games I've streamed, it's usually that community, GTA. That's where you get these.
Yeah. GTA and Call of Duty
people. Yeah,
It's
true.
more
True to
multiplayer
that.
games.
It's the violent game.
The multiplayer games. If it's a single player game, then you usually don't get that many trolls coming in there.
Yeah, like
Because
I remember
GTA is like the ultimate troll group. It's like a bunch of 13-year-old kids saying, "Hey, here's my chance. Time to troll."
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, from my experience, when the trolls, when you don't let them troll, and all of a sudden they've got nothing else to do, from my experience, all of a sudden they click the follow button and they're nice.
It's what happened to me yesterday.
They're like, you know what? I can't do anything. So you know what? How's your day going, by the way?
There was a guy that came in my stream yesterday. He was like, "You're ugly. You're with this guy on the screen. He's so ugly." And then like 5 minutes later, followed. And I said, "Well, thanks for following."
Yeah. I remember this. I remember when, this is just turning like your favorite moments of or your funniest moments of trolls. This is good. I remember where just someone would just troll, and I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna get rid of you. And they're like following, and I'm like, look at the name, like, oh, you decided to follow, but you won't be able to chat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then they'll make like another account of that name. And of course, I actually, by the way, another good thing I personally choose to do is enable verified emails only, because people, when you have unverified chat off, I find the chat to be a lot more trolly. You know what I mean? Whereas when people actually want to watch a stream and know what Twitch is, they will verify their account for when they want to subscribe to a channel, when they want to get turbo. Whereas I'm sure you and Raw and Ice can relate, when people first start making an account off their PlayStation so they could comment on the screen. Like, you get a lot of lurkers or unsigned accounts when you're streaming from live from PlayStation. So you get someone probably, like when Raw is playing, let's say Blitzball, right, and Final Fantasy, someone is like, "Oh my gosh, what's he doing?" Blah blah blah. But he's saying that in his own head.
Manual mode. He's not gonna win.
But they can't type that. So what they do is like, "Oh, I can't comment here because I need to make an account." So they make a quick Twitch account, but that's not verified because they haven't gone through the verified email process themselves. So, but yeah, eliminating. What I choose to have verified emailed on, and it brings a better chat. people actually seem to know what Twitch actually is when they kind of verify it. They take that little rite of passage, if you want to call it, when they verify their email account.
Well,
Usually it's a lot better. And ever
If-
since I've decided to do that, the streams, the actual people that want to be there, they know what's going on. They're in the loop what Twitch is. And I'd rather have the quality of the viewership of great people, being surrounded by great people, rather than quantity of people that haven't taken the chance or taken the time to just to verify, because that only takes a few clicks. And ever since that security breach, you guys remember from back in February, people said, "Oh crap, I had to make an account." So I recognize the account. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going, man? It's been a long time." I'm like, "Oh, I just followed because my old account, I couldn't get my password back." I'm like, "Oh, how come?" It's like, "Well, I just used a random email." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Now the thing with the verified emails, doesn't Twitch kind of like frowns upon you making multiple accounts, especially if you have a verified email, don't they? I mean, they kind of monitor that a little.
Well, it's better to have it verified than not. Then they can just trace it down to, let's say someone's trolling it, right? Like for my Dorian Dbot with Deepbot, I actually signed in with my current email address. That's actually another thing too. That's what I remembered, Sulfus. Don't give out like your email and all that stuff out to your people that you trust, right?
Well,
Don't
the
give
email
out,
connected to
like
Twitch,
email, because but with internet protection and stuff, don't give out like your email ever. Or another good thing, man, I'm starting to remember stuff. Okay, Sulfus,
Go ahead, buddy. Hey, we're
my
here.
dude. All right, so what I've done on my stream to prevent any crap that goes on. Now, it's not 100%, but under your own Twitch settings, I think it's under the settings, not the dashboard, but the settings where the little gear icon is, you can ban certain words and phrases. So I decided to go on Urban Dictionary and found all these stupid words. So I just plopped all them in there, right? And just like all the cool Twitch words or some sexual stuff, whatever, I just banned those. But I also put in your like home address or phone number or full name and all that stuff. I just plop all that stuff in there.
There you go, Bill.
To prevent it. And it would just show as star. So that's another good tip to do to prevent, like, if someone got a hold of that, the whole chat couldn't see it. It would just say star, or they really want to go far fetched, they would have to like mix letters and numbers to make it sense. But that's another thing to do, is to ban words. And I see that Mai mentioned you can do that with Nightbot, but you can actually do that from your Twitch's own account too, because we all know when Nightbot goes down, it's like
quite often.
that's
actually,
another thing.
Yeah, when I first started mine, I actually did put in a lot of like very like offensive words in the banned words part on my profile settings on Twitch. Just as precautionary measures, because I just put a lot of those words in there that people just don't want to see and just find offensive, and it would just really upset all the whole chat. But I need to go back into it and do the address thing and all that. That's actually a good one. And backing up a little bit, actually, we were talking about DDoSing. Is it only me, or does anybody else have the option of going into your router settings on your browser, typing in your IP, putting in a username and password to get into your router settings, and actually putting DDoS protection on? Because I have that option.
I have that option, but it hasn't helped me. Like, once they have that IP address, they got you by the balls. I know that sounds bad.
Yeah.
They do. They got you in a vice grip. It's unfortunate, but once you can get a new IP, and I think I saw land earlier, some internet providers might not be able to do that. Now, I think that might be under what's called a static IP, but when you have a dynamic, that's what I have. I think most of Canada has that, and probably most of United States, but my internet provider has that, a dynamic IP, And when you can change your MAC address to something completely random, and then reboot everything, you'll get a new IP address, and
Yeah.
that's always worked for me. But there are these other routers I've seen on the net where they're a little more on an expensive side, that are supposed to alleviate the traffic, but it's like once they got that IP, it's really tough to split that traffic away. But if you're able to just change it, and then that just stops it. That stops it. And as I mentioned, Skype links, all that stuff. So
Yeah. My personal experience with a VPN recently was I was trying to do a speed test, and of course I live in North Carolina, so I'm like, all right, let's do a speed test. And he goes, all right, find your closest server test site. And I was like, all right, why the hell am I testing a server in San Francisco when I'm all the way over here? And now that I had to disable VPN because it was messing with the with my speeds and everything. But yeah, it was kind of funny though. I'd never experienced that before, and it was a learning experience.
yeah, and also like it's always good to find out and see if your IP your internet provider may be able to provide you multiple IPs. Like I mentioned before, I have one dedicated IP that I have for my computer that I can change anytime I want because I changed the MAC address, and then I can do the MAC address on the router, and then being careful like not giving Skype, because that's the easiest way. A lot of these
That's how they
people
found
on Twitch,
mine.
they're usually probably kids too. They have these little things that oh cool, I'm gonna be like so I'm gonna ding this guy's stream off, and I'm gonna feel so proud of myself.
Yeah,
And they just want the attention.
He's trying to be zero.
I see
cool
Big
from
T
the movie
mentioned
Adverse.
VPNs. A VPN it's not exactly like 100% end all be all, but running a VPN can help. But yeah, not giving out those information like Skype or a raid call, or even perhaps a TeamSpeak. That's why you keep, as a partnered streamer, I keep that as a mod and subscriber thing only. Before, now again, this is before I knew this stuff, I had a raid call where people can just hop on anytime they want, any viewer, and just do that.
I'm still like
And
that actually.
yeah, my mods, Jake and Kowouter and Spartan, many of them would remember that time back when we were streaming GTA on PS4. We had this one guy come into the raid call, and I'm assuming the guy probably got my IP from either two ways. One, from Skype, because I had that running. It was really easy to find the name at that time. Or two, they came into the raid call and they were able to do that. Or three, the last option is what it's called, a network sniffer, where they run a program on their computer that goes through the router and they play the GTA, because you play those online open lobbies, all that stuff. So, but yeah, no, it's just buggers, man. There's buggers out there that just do that.
Buggers.
Yep.
I think this is
For sure.
the longest we have been on one subject so
You just
far.
sing and stuff.
Hour 20 minutes.
I think we.
Hopefully,
And
it's
nobody's leaving. Thank you guys.
Hopefully,
I'm
it's
glad you found it
enlightening,
interesting.
and at the end of the day, we want to provide you guys the content of our streams, of our personalities, what we like to share, and everything. And with the tips that we've all discussed, will help provide a fun, energetic, creative community. And just knowing these things, and as I mentioned, those little forms posts that I put earlier.
Please post them again. By
It
the
only
way.
takes here. I'll put one on the back.
I'd
here.
like to click on them and bookmark them, and I didn't the first time. So yeah.
Here's both of them there. So the first one's a little more detailed. The second one goes through a little easier. I know there's other videos and other stuff, but more you know, right? And I always I
The more
always
you know.
enjoy learning. That's something that I continue. It's a very hard thirst for me to, I guess, quench whatever. I forget the phrase or the saying is, but I'm always interested in learning. And hopefully, you guys share something similar in that. And at the end of the day, we just want to have fun, right?
Yep.
So,
For sure.
Faux show.
Why is Ross' eyes only showing?
You like my eyes.
Because they're like moving
Sneaking.
side to side.
Yeah.
It's like
Creepy.
yeah, raw sneak, Metal Gear Solid sneak.
These little box.
All right, so good stuff.
great stuff.
Very good stuff.
I think we should cover the next 3 topics after the break.
Need a break already? What?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Noob.
nah.
JK, LOL, bald,
So
smiley face.
the next topic we'll get into is video downgrades. Essentially, what we're talking about is games being developed for PC and then they get ported over to consoles. Sometimes they take a blemish on either graphics or gameplay or something like this, just so the game can get out to all the platforms. But is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Is what we want to know. Bill, what you got?
Oh man, you had to pick me first. Really, dude? Because I'm strictly console. I mean, I do play some PC games, but I really can't. Honestly, I haven't had a chance to experience firsthand the conversion because like what we were talking about, Smite. But hold on, am I doing this in reverse order? No.
No.
Smite's made for PC.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the beta's out on the One. And it may be on the PS4. I'm not sure yet. I just downloaded it. It looks great already. Graphics look good and all that. I'm not sure how it goes. But I really don't have too much experience with playing a PC game and then going to a console. I really don't. Other than that, maybe CSGO. I did do, I played my fair share of CSGO on the PC. And, of course, if you guys don't know what CSGO is, the Counter-Strike Global Offensive. But playing it on the console compared to the PC is a very big difference, and it's not enjoyable on the console, if I would say. But, as I said, I haven't played much of it. But from what I could see, even though I prefer to have everything in the palms of my 2 hands, playing a game on console, when I did go from CSGO PC to CSGO on the Xbox, terrible. I just couldn't do it. It was just, you're so used to using that mouse. A lot of the accuracy that you want is just not there because you're using a joystick instead of a mouse and keyboard. That's just, one example. But as I said, I can't really divulge too much onto that subject because I'm strictly console, pretty just about. So
Gotcha.
that's all I got to say about that.
Icy?
Yeah?
What you've been way too quiet so far.
I don't know. I've just been.
That's
Well, Dorian had like DDoS thing down, so he was like going on. I'm just gonna stay here and
Bouncing my bouncy ball.
you don't judge the yoga ball. You can tell a difference. Like I play Diablo 3, but like I don't really play it on console very much. But I have it on PC because I feel like I don't know, it feels cleaner on PC, and I like having all the little buttons going. And I can do all your little combos and stuff. And on my console, I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing or anything. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know. And then you can tell the graphics a little bit, and I'm just like, PC looks a little bit better, just saying. That's like if they tried to put like League of Legends on console. It would never work. Peach is
Yeah, it
horrible.
won't work.
Yeah, this won't work.
We'll see how Smite is. I think it's only on the Xbox.
Yeah, but well, I mean, Smite's so simple though. You know, it's not like you have 3 different hotbars. Of things to click. You've got your basic skills. It's like what? How many is it? Sophus? I mean, it's usually it's what
It's
4 at a time, isn't it?
you need six total buttons. So you have 4 abilities, and you have like 2.
Well,
Actually, no,
So you
no,
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Actually, it's 8. It's 8. I said it wrong. So you have your
You got all that taken care of on
your
the
4 abilities, your 2 actives, and your 2 potion slots.
right. Which makes perfect sense for an Xbox controller. I mean, you could do it easily. I mean, even if it's just a combination of buttons. But I could never see a game like World of Warcraft done, via console or something like that, because there's just way too much, pardon my French, shit to click onto, to play that game.
Well,
So many buttons.
and we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was the first or second episode. I have to actually go back and watch it to remember. But we talked about ESO coming to consoles, and it's
yes.
coming.
But ESO is simpler as well. It's kind of like
it is,
mine.
it is coming, and what I've people talked about the beta, said it was good. So I'm interested to see, because I played it at launch on PC.
Yeah, I was the same here, and I think our transfer is only going to cost $20.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how it would carry over. I was on record saying that I thought that it would be an MMO that would carry over well to a console, but I'm interested to more see of not necessarily the gameplay and stuff like this, because that's all going to be the same. More interested to see like server load and how the game is going to, controls and things like this. So we'll have to see about how that gets translated over. But a lot of games like Battlefield and like the Call of Duties and things like this, they're all multiple platforms. They're on, all the things, and obviously, and it depends on how it's developed though. But when it's cross-platform like this, they tend to develop it for PC and then port it down, because graphically, just in sheer like looking at it, computer is always going to take the cake. Computer, it's so easy to upgrade. You can't just buy a new video card for your PS4. It doesn't work like this. So, consoles are always going to be limited. But it's almost in a way, because it's kind of a back and forth for me, because in a way, it's like you want everybody to be able to play the same game if you're making a game, right? Unless it's an exclusive. So, reaching cross platforms like GTA did, eventually reaching all the platforms. I think the PC version got pretty good with GTA, but this one was backwards compared to what we're talking about. It got developed on console and then with the PC, so it has a different treatment. But I think it went well. But most of the times you can kind of see, in my opinion, you can kind of see the downgrade of the games that get crossed over to console. And it's it's limited capabilities of console. You don't want to put like everything that you can, and then the console kind of video lag or something like this. That's what you don't want. You can imagine getting a game on console and be like, okay, we're going to stream this, and it's like dropping frames because the console can't keep up with it or something like this. So it's a fine line for developers. But hello.
Hi.
There.
That's not enough to wake up, okay?
But
Wake up.
But sometimes, I think it's kind of a coin toss. Sometimes you have to developers have to decide, where are we going to cut corners to be able to fit it on a console. And stuff like this. So, I mean, that's what I think about it. It's kind of a fine line now. It's not so just, you have all these dollars dumped into production of games and all these AAA titles. A lot of money going to it. It's not like it used to be when we had like Nintendo and Sega Genesis, where games, were easily ported back and forth on the 8-bit and 16-bit. But nowadays it's a lot more involved. So I'm down in the long run for games being all over the place and multi-platforms, because I have all the platforms except for the Wii.
All the things.
Except for the Wii. But and there are certain games, like you said, Bill, that I prefer to play on PC. There are certain games that I prefer to play on console. I think everybody has if you have, the means to have multiple consoles and stuff like this, I think everything kind of holds its own special place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 14 came out on the PC, and it came out on the PS3. I got on the PS3 when it first came out, and it was you can only see a tiny, like maybe 20 feet ahead of you. You can see characters, other players, and everything else was empty. And it was so laggy, and it was so bad. And especially when you have a big group that you're supposed to fight in a certain quest, you have to kill a monster. Hundreds of people come along to have to kill that monster, right?
Yeah.
Now on PS3, I couldn't even see the monster. People are doing their magic attacks, and sometimes they just disappear. Those characters just completely disappear, and they're just like attacking the monster. I can't even lock on to him because the PS3 was so bad. The PS4 fixed that. You can actually see the enemies, and the graphics are a million times better. But I used to have people, since it's a shared server, the PS3 people play together, PS4 now as well. The people used to ask, "Oh, are you on PS3?" And I was like, "Yeah." You have to type "yeah," and they said, "Well, you can't join us. Can you kick me out or something because I'm not on PC." Yeah, PC is like the ultimate thing. But I've only played one PC game, and that's Town of Salem. It's the only game I've ever streamed.
Oh, I remember.
Like a board
Yeah,
game.
tiny
Guys.
suggestion. She's like, "Oh, play it. That might work. Go now."
Right.
So,
But my
Oh,
word.
Everybody
no.
pretty much stabbed each other's backs in that game. It's like,
Well,
all right, kill your neighbor.
Even that, I know this is off topic, but when Rob was streaming, I was actually intrigued. Like when he was playing with Icy and Brenda, and then Rage and a few others were there. B-Boy might have been there. But some of the themes of choices for names, that was
it's her
quite.
influence. It's her influence.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be this name
You are
or
a
whatever.
grown
but-
adult.
It's her
I
influence
thought
is like,
that was-
Hey, let's have some sex positions.
Oh my god.
Name your favorite one.
I'm so done.
Yeah. Those
What
names.
that you used to do with the church? Oh yeah, missionary.
It was also Nini, and Dag Nabbit.
Oh,
She was there too.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
The
Dang.
three of them together combined make.
I am innocent.
Pass the bottle of
Interesting,
wine with
interesting.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of asking for it with this. Dorian, what do you think about the video downgrades?
Well, it's becoming a real known thing as much as we've seen a lot of these games become remastered. So I know you and Rod just recently have been playing, or Rod just beat Final Fantasy X
10.
PS4 remastered. I enjoyed watching you guys play it. I know. By the way, Soltis is OP at Blitzball. Just saying. Just watched it. It
You
was
won?
amazing. Yeah, he just racked
I
up the
gotta play
scores
this.
just like
What's
that.
on?
But
Blitzball, Bill,
yeah.
Blitzball is the mini game in Final Fantasy X. It's like underwater soccer, the best way I can describe it.
It's like underwater water polo.
It's like underwater rugby soccer. I don't know, it's strange.
See, underwater water polo 10 times fast. But yeah, no, okay.
Water
Yeah.
polo.
You can't do it.
But yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
I can
yeah. Anyways,
I can
yeah.
do some work
Watching
in Blitzball.
Soltis play it, racking up the score and everything. But yeah, start to see it. I remember when I actually built my first PC, it was back in January of 2012, and a lot of the parts I still have, and I've upgraded my processor and graphics card. Many of you guys probably remember from last year, Assassin's Creed Unity. A lot of people were excited, and they showed like in-game footage of what it's gonna be, and they didn't really label what specific what it was running on. But then it was found out that it was running on PC, and everyone on the PC community said, "Oh, right, we're gonna be able to get such effects and stuff." And then things kind of went downhill because it wasn't well. Part of it was being limited by the hardware that was available for the consoles, but even the consoles even had a downgrade because I believe it was the Xbox One that was limiting to the PS4, and there's a whole debacle about that. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play it, but I remember watching iGames play it, and it was kind of a mess at the beginning. Now maybe they have fixed it, and the patches have come by and fix it. And then we got some Doge hype in the chat right now.
Doge hype.
Yeah. I remember watching iGames play it, and he was kind of confused. Like the controls felt weird, and the graphics were not up to what was given. Now, that's kind of what's called a vertical slice at the footage that they gave, but they were saying at that time that was real in-game footage and everything. Now, graphics don't make up the game. For me, it's usually about the gameplay, story, and everything. Production values start to follow after that. But I remember Assassin's Creed Unity being a victim of that. Watch Dogs, another Ubisoft title. I remember the first E3 debut trailer, like the wind effects, the lighting, the rain, and everything. Just look, the reflections were like gorgeous. And then once the final game came out, and people would compare the two from the E3 footage, it's completely different, night and day.
Well, it goes back to first impressions, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I was, and
then like Skyrim.
I remember Ubisoft would come out and they would say, "Well, we've actually improved it." Where people were like, "What? You got to be kidding me!" So, again, I'm not really. I do like seeing something that's pretty, and I know we see a lot of these ultra real graphics now and everything, but the latest victim of this whole thing. But there's a positive side to this. But anyway, I'll get to that. The recent outcry that's been about is actually Witcher 3. Now, again, that's a game that I've been playing. And when it was first released, or debut footage, I think it was E3 of 2013. So it's been a while since that initial release trailer. That was running on PC. The foliage, the grass, the lighting, the textures, everything was just gorgeous. Now, I'm not saying the game is not gorgeous. It's still a beautiful looking game on PC, but concessions were made because of the consoles, right? And CD Projekt Red, the developer in Poland, have actually come out saying that because of it was being developed for consoles, whereas Witcher 2, that's another gorgeous game, it was developed first for PC, and then a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, it finally came onto the 360. So the game was developed first for the PC, whereas this time it was a simultaneous cycle developed for PS4, XP One, and the PC. And because of those, things were trimmed down, like the lighting and foliage and textures and just how it looked. But on a good note, though, CD Projekt Red has come out and said that they are working on bringing better graphical improvements for the PC. And we've actually seen 4 patches since the debut of Witcher 3 on PC. Now, when I last streamed it, this was on, I think, Friday night. That was like 10.5-hour stream, by the way. It was crazy. But it was on patch 1.02. Because earlier I was streaming Mario Kart before we came here. I downloaded a new patch, 1.04. There's been 2 updates since that time. And it turns out they've improved some lighting, better textures, and also performance gains for the PC, because I do have an older graphics card now. It's a GTX 670, by the way. and it's a solid card for the time, but it's starting to show a bit of its age. And with
That's
the
what
new
I had.
patch, it's actually improved it. So it's very good to hear that the developer has made efforts to say yes, it has been trimmed down because it was on the other consoles, but they are making it up for the PC community, where they're developing ongoing support. Kind of first, you're starting to see more patches on PC, and they've also have what's called the Red Engine kit, so people will be able to modify the game like Skyrim,
What?
like graphical mods. That's awesome. Okay, because
Nice. Very nice.
I think if you guys ever played Skyrim, I remember playing on PC. I just put hundreds of different mods on, and it looks gorgeous. It looks like a complete different game, beautiful. But then I first actually bought it on PS3. I was like, all right, I'll get it. And then there's like these stupid problems in the game saves corrupting, graphics were nowhere as close to what the debut trailer was, but where the PC got the royal treatment with the mods and everything. I know it's a completely different like ecosystem and stuff, but yeah, we've seen these graphical downgrades and these vertical slices of games where they're going to be shown, and this is target rendered or in-game footage, and this is what it's supposed to be, but then it doesn't turn out, and it's kind of like, what's going on? But going to this podcast about this discussion, I was kind of sad and a little frustrated. But since we're discussing now, CD Projekt Red has come out and said we're going to still be supporting the PC for a long time. That is their main platform of development, and we're going to see more patches come out a lot earlier, and also we're going to see that Red Engine mod support. So I'm a happy camper, and eventually with the mods and everything, it'll bring it to the level of what the target footage or even supersede it. So that's really, really cool. I'm really excited. And again, if you guys have not, I know Icy and Rob have been playing it. I've actually enjoyed the game. Again, on the PC, I actually was able to fix some with the left analog stick because that would feel a bit weird sometimes. So controls are really good. Graphic story, overall enjoying it. And just knowing that PC folks aren't getting the short end of the stick, where we've seen in the past Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed-ish stuff. So I'm excited. Very good stuff from CD Projekt Red.
Awesome. Always good things. Mods are. I'm a fan of mods, man. Like I said, I was playing. I started playing Skyrim again with. Not going crazy with the mods, trying to keep things lore friendly and with the HD packs and stuff like this. But it's a new game every time you play it. You can uninstall a mod, put something else in, go like this. And I can imagine fans of The Witcher it turning into something like this. Adding all the things.
And since actually, here's a cool update. Remember the last podcast we discussed about like GTA 5 and people getting banned for using single player mods? Well, it looks like they're starting to fix that. At least Rockstar. I remember Wilder posted a link and everything.
That's good.
And there were a lot of people that fell victim of actually playing the game just single player, but they would just get banned on the spot. So what people can do is actually just let Rockstar support know. That's always a bit fishy to do that because will they ever get back to you? But it seems like there's been a lot of people being okay with it not getting banned anymore. And again, it's only been a few weeks since the last podcast, but there's a lot more mods available on that PC. I saw a grappling hook that's supposed to be similar to Just Cause, where you can shoot the grappling gun and it shoots one grapple piece, and then the other piece you can like attach to a helicopter and have like these weird stuff going on. But
that's awesome.
At least that's good. But if people were doing that online, that's a no. Like that's just,
yeah, sure.
If you had like your own private server and doing that stuff, I can see that being fine. But when you do that into the public, like that's a complete disadvantage. And seeing that go on, I wouldn't want that to happen. Especially I know GTA is not a competitive game of any nature, but when someone would like somehow steal all your money in the game, or just make your car into an asteroid, it's not that good time.
Talk from experience, Dorian.
Talking from experience, Jake knows.
Seems
Jake,
like-
that's actually, by the way, that's actually Jake said that's where the Jake Rage was born. Was from GTA 3, GTA 5 on the PS3. So I remember those days. But
Seems like you may.
yeah,
have
no, it's great. It's great to hear that's getting cleared up, and I'm starting to see a few more things develop, and especially because we're talking about AAA titles of hundreds of thousands of dollars are going into these developing costs of games, and you kind of get these broken games sometimes. And fortunately, at least my experience on the PC with Witcher 3, it's been really smooth. They've been on it. I know Rockstar has been on it for the PC. That's been really good. But to this day, like Ubisoft, my brother actually bought Watch Dogs a little after when I bought for PS4, and his card is a 770. And everything, but I've heard people that would have like the latest GTX 980 GT or the Titan X, I think it's called. I think it's the X. It's the newest Titan series. Anyway, they can't run the game at full specs without issues and stuff. So it's kind of
Most of
weird,
the-
even though the minimum requirement or the recommended requirements, all this stuff. So PC's kind of been it has its ups and downs, and we see games that get the grid treatment like GTA 5 and PC, and Witcher 3 rectifying the downgrade issues. Or man, I feel like I'm just hating on Ubisoft here, but they've had those
For good
issues.
reason.
They've had those
But
issues going on.
Dorian, most of the time it seems like this. These brand new video cards have problems right out the box. Running everything. It's been a trend for a while, and then eventually, when the games come out, they get the drivers and stuff like this. But it seems to be a trend. So yes.
And I'll just say, this is off topic, but it's part of The Witcher and other games too. Especially, this is for all the PC folks out there, and it's really unfortunate, I suppose. I don't know. I guess it's okay for me because I'm on Team Green, which would be NVIDIA, right? That's the graphics company. I have Intel. Or you have Team Red, which is AMD. And there's been actually quite a bit of heat about Witcher 3 on AMD graphics and AMD graphics cards, because actually on the Witcher 3 there's a setting called NVIDIA Hairworks, which is supposed to provide a better cleaning hair strands, and also all dynamic movements, and also hair effects for the monsters and stuff. And I've run it, and my card's older now, and I get like subpar 20 frames, which is not playable for me. I need at least 35, 40, or if I can get that 60 anytime, I'll take that any day. But folks on AMD are upset that there's these game developers are not able to incorporate all this type of technology for all the other graphics cards. Now, AMD has its own. I remember with the what's called Tress Effects for Tomb Raider that came out, the last Tomb Raider game. Still could do it on NVIDIA, but the performance wasn't as good. I don't know. They kind of go back and forth. Like one game would be like game evolved for AMD, or the way it's meant to be played on for NVIDIA, all that stuff. But I don't know. I know there's been a lot of discussion about that too going on in the PC scene, whereas actually on the consoles, it's actually interesting. On the consoles, both Xbox One and PS4 are actually developed. The processor and the GPUs are actually developed by AMD. Whereas last generation it was AMD for the Xbox, I believe, for the graphics, and an IBM processor, and then PS3 had the Cell processor and NVIDIA cards. So it's interesting to see that because, for example, The Witcher 3, they said the game wasn't actually possible to be developed if it was just first PC because of the funding, right? And when you bring it on multiple platforms, you're going to bring in more revenue for that game product. And AMD, being the front runners for the PS4 and Xbox One, the treatment wasn't so good on PC. So, unfortunately, I'm curious to see how folks react to that on the AMD side. But at least for the NVIDIA, it seems to be okay.
Awesome.
Those downgrades, though.
Downgrades.
Hopefully we'll see more like this. I remember, last thing I'll say is, I remember when the PS4 and the Xbox One were first debuted, for showing the looks of it and the hardware specs. A lot of the developers, especially I remember on Sony's end, Raw will probably remember this. What's his name? Mark Cerny?
Yeah,
What's his
Cerny.
name?
Yep.
Cerny. He is well known for developing Spyro. I think he worked with the folks at Spyro. That would be Insomniac. And then also
Now he's famous for Knack.
Crash. Well, yeah, he's famous for Knack now, but he's also known for the being the lead developer when it came to what would be going into the PS4, and they were saying like this is like a PC, like it's a PC first, but in a console form for PlayStation. But I haven't seen too many like titles like again with Assassin's Creed. I remember that whole debacle thing that took place, and now I think Witcher 3 just got a patch today for the PS4. So I'm excited to hear what Raw and iGames and Icy and Larissa have to say if it's improved the
it's
game
just a patch
when you
for the
guys decide to
Xbox.
stream it and stuff.
I
But
don't think there's a patch for PS4 yet.
Xbox had the issue.
I think it
Yeah,
came out. I
Xbox-
think that's what
Xbox
CD
One.
Projekt Red.
Xbox had save issues with all like people were losing their saves on Witcher, but PS4 no, I don't think people have been having that problem.
Yeah.
I think there
Xbox
should be an
didn't have
update.
30
I
frames
think I
per
saw
second either.
anyway. So next time when you play it, there might be something there. But anyways,
There's DLC, so you can have beard stuff.
Nice.
that's a topic for another. That's another. I've actually covered that. Expansion packs versus DLCs
Expansion pack
versus.
beard.
Oh my gosh.
All I need is my bird mask.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
it's free DLC, bro.
Oh yes. Nothing. We've
All right. Well, free DLC,
season
all right.
passes. Let's not go there, Sulfus. We've been there.
God. Oh my god.
Don't diss my Batman again.
Open up.
Whoa.
Hey, that was nobody on this panel that dissed your Batman.
It was iGames. I know who it was.
What was that? What was that Snapchat clip there, Tiny? I just got.
I made
You
it
say,
sit.
but Dorian's talking. It can't do anything.
I said I was like I'm on the stream, but Dorian's sucking. So
Okay, I'll stop. I know I got that verbal diarrhea going on, so I'll take a.
That verbal diarrhea. No. I love your verbal diarrhea. Like I literally, yeah. It's like, yeah. Never mind. We won't get too crazy with that. But yes, I
like
love
diarrhea.
your verbal
We get
diarrhea.
it.
Always
Yeah.
good stuff.
We get it.
So,
Everyone gets it.
any final thoughts on said topic?
about the
No.
video game updates.
Not really.
It has to happen for some games just because it's just too much for consoles. Let's just be honest.
Well,
Okay, Ken.
sure, but like like I was saying, I think it's a fine line of what do you actually cut out. You know, what corners do you cut? You know, to make it be good and playable on the console. So yeah, it's definitely a thing and has to happen, but you know exactly where's the line. So we're going to throw up the break screen pretty soon. We will.
Dun, dun, dun. The break screen.
Your mic is low.
I keep moving my mic.
Oh, I hear a snap.
I says it's low.
I keep moving my mic away. So we are going to come back after the break. We were talking about the development of virtual reality plugins, and we will talk about E3. During the break, we will play music by Leader Dog, like always. Thanks to Leader Dog for allowing us to play their music. If you guys in the chats do not follow these streamers in the panel, what are you waiting for?
I'm here.
So
is the fucking mouse.
Yes. Where's the hiccup counter at? Anybody got it?
Oh, dude, it's hot.
Next time.
Next time. All right. So yeah, guys, go grab guys and girls watching at home on the panel. Go grab a drink. Do whatever you need to do. We're throwing up the break screen. We shall return soon.
Dun dun dun.
Love you.
I wanna know, and I wanna go, yeah, and I wanna run away. I wanna run away with you. Drop down your nets and come and follow. Share the news. And I wanna run away. I wanna run away with you. So tell me why. So can you tell me why I can fail? That rooster crowed right through my soul, and I can't feel it. I can't feel it. I can't feel it, baby. Yeah, tell me. So can you tell me why I can't feel? Once, twice, thrice. Hey, tell me. You said. You said. You said. I'm ashamed, and well, I'm to blame. Lord, and I wanna run away. I wanna run away with you. So tell me why. So can you tell me why I can't fail? That rooster crowed right through my soul, and I can't feel it. I can't feel it. I can't feel it, baby. Yeah, tell me. So can you tell me why I can't feel? Once, twice, thrice. Hey, tell me. You said. You said. You said. Yeah. I can't feel